Welcome back to the National Aquatics Centre, the Ice Cube. Day 2 here in Beijing, China, host of the Beijing 2022 wheelchair curling event at this 13th edition of the Paralympic Winter Games. Wheelchair curling making its 5th appearance at the Paralympics, first introduced in Torino back in 2006. Our featured game is going to be between the People's Republic of China and Sweden. The reigning Olympic and World Champions China up against reigning World Silver Medalist Sweden. 4 years ago, China picked up the gold medal, China's first ever medal at a Paralympic Winter Games. They feature in our live game today in a rerun of that world final just a few months ago. And here is the Chinese team led out by Yan Zhe. Second player, Zhang Mingliang. And then third player, Jen Yanxin. And of course, the fourth player and skip, Wang Haitao.
Games will begin shortly.
And this the Swedish team led out by the extremely experienced Kristina Kiki Ulander. Second player, Mats Ulla Engborg. The rock star of the team, Ronnie Persson. And the fourth player and skip, Viljo Pettersson-Dahl. Took an extra end to separate these teams when they met just a few months ago here in the National Aquatics Centre, so we can expect a very tight and high quality affair between two of the major protagonists for the medals here at this Paralympic Games. Everything very orderly here, and we will be getting started shortly. A nice crowd starting to form here in the Ice Cube. Just 2 sheets in action in this session. Great expectation on this Chinese team after that unbelievable success 4 years ago. China's first ever Paralympic medal, that gold in Pyeongchang. But inside their national training facility, it says Beijing is past now. Everything now points to Beijing 2022, and they won't settle for that one wheelchair curling gold. Looking to add to that haul. Canada 2-0. They beat China so far, handing them their only loss this far. And Sweden getting off to a good start as well with a win in their first game. There you go, Canada losing out. Sorry, Canada defeating China by 7 shots to 3. Canada also fancied to be in around the playoffs. Of course, 3-time Paralympic champions. Of course, the home crowd in to see the home heroes, Chen Yanxin there from Beijing himself. Sweden defeating Switzerland by 9 shots to 2 in a very impressive first outing. Viljo Pettersson-Dahl talking about the nerves that they experienced on day 1.
Good game, guys.
They'll be just starting to settle into play here. And we're ready to get this game underway. So Chinese lead. Yan Zhe gets us underway here. China throwing the red stones. Sweden will be throwing the yellow stones. And if you are new to the game, the two teams will throw alternately, 8 stones each in each end. 4 players throwing 2 stones each, and once they've all come to rest, then we'll decide who's closest to the middle and how many. And then we'll do it all again, 8 times. 8 ends to play before we can decide the winner. Here's Christina Ulander, also known as Kiki. She's the vice skip as well for this team. Makes a super takeout to start the game.
Ja. 2 varv. Bra. Kolla, den andra kan vara den som roterar mindre, jag vet inte.
Yanzhou started curling in 2017, previously a para archer. Decided to move over to wheelchair curling because she thought she was at a bit of a disadvantage because of the classification system. Clearly feeling at home out here on the ice. Christina Ulander, one of the flag bearers with Viljo Pettersson Dahl there in the opening ceremony. A great honour indeed for any athlete. 8 nations had wheelchair curlers out there as the flag bearer at the opening ceremony, including Sweden.
Bra, Kiki. Finns det?
Christina Ulander just comes up a little shy of the house. China can't remove that. They are known for their excellent takeout play, this Chinese team. But there is a rule called the free guard zone, which is in operation at the moment. Until 5 stones are played in the end, you can't remove the opposition stone from that area out in front of the house. Of course, if it was touching the rings, then they would be able to play a takeout. So Jiang Mingliang going for the clockwise rotation. Every single stone has a spin on it. This one rotating clockwise, and we'll move from right to left as the speed comes out of it. Just trying to sneak by the guard. Just clicks it and rolls into the house. Great attempt there by the Chinese second. And if you're a curling fan and you've never watched any wheelchair curling before, you'll notice that the main difference is that there are no sweepers. There's no hack and there's no sweepers. Just requires absolute precision from the hand. Does mean that the tactics can be slightly different to what you're used to. Lovely takeout there from Matsula Ingborg. This is the same Swedish lineup as 4 years ago. Finished on 7th on that occasion, but have really started to show some form in recent years. They were a new team 4 years ago, and they've really gelled since then and become a really tight unit. You've seen the background. So Jiang Mingliang makes the takeout as well, just peels that one and rolls the shooter away. Yeah, this Swedish side have really been focusing hard over the last 4 years on the sports psychology side of the sport, really trying to support each other well out on the ice and enable their teammates to execute the shots as well as they can. That was absolutely evident with that previous shot. So lots of physical contact, lots of encouragement. Such an important part of wheelchair curling.
Nej, bra.
Oh, good line there from Mats Ole Engborg, but just a little bit too much speed. And that would drift right the way through the house. And without any hesitation, Wang Haitao is going to call the takeout on the guard. This is their game style. They don't mind a low-scoring game here. Chen Yanxin to play. And the left-hander. Always lots of audibles from the Chinese. That's a terrific shot there by the Chinese third. Hits and rolls into the house as well. Unbelievable accuracy from Chen.
Sträck ut. Fast och fart i din antan.
Well, this guy needs no introduction. Ronnie Persson, a real legend of the game.
Come here.
Used to compete in
bra.
para-skiing. Didn't fancy himself as much of a curling guy.
Bra.
He was very reluctant to even try the sport, but after competing in the 98 and 2002 Paralympic Games, a bit of time off, he eventually succumbed and tried curling in 2012 and really rediscovered that competitive fire. And he's quite the personality to have out there out on the ice. It's been a rough few years from Ronnie. Ahead of the Paralympic Games in 2018, he had some discomfort from pressure sores. And as soon as the Paralympic Games were over and he returned to Sweden, he went straight to the hospital to get it checked out. Had to go through an operation. Spent a few months in the hospital and had to spend nearly a year lying on his stomach to let the pressure sores heal. And such as this guy's competitive edge, he knew that he was missing out on practice time, so obviously with all that spare time he had, he worked out how many stones that he felt he hadn't thrown, but because he had to heal and rehab, he worked out to be about 24 tons worth of granite that he had to throw, and he put together a plan to get himself back on par with everybody else in terms of the number of stones that he's thrown. Each stone weighs 20 kilos.
Bra, du kan gå. Går du.
Solid granite.
Bra Ronny, fin sten!
So here's Wang Haitao, the left-hander. The Chinese skip started in 2008, coming from very humble beginnings in Harbin in China, actually learned to curl in a skating rink where they just put some water bottles down. Wasn't even an accessible facility, the coach having to carry them in their chairs up the stairs to enable them to practice. Far better facilities available in China these days with the National Ice Sports Training Facility, which is fully accessible, as is the National Aquatic Centre here. All of the teams have been talking about how great a facility this is to curl in. So here's Viljo Pettersson-Dahl, the Swedish skip, the other flag bearer, as well as Christina Olander.
Sätter den fin!
Viljo from Jönköping.
Bra
Viljo,
Viljo,
the
fin
World
sten!
Juniors in a couple of months' time. He's also the treasurer for Jönköping Curling Club. He loves curling because it's a great game, a mixture of strategy and execution. And he's been curling since 2013. He's a real powerhouse, Wang Haitao. So this first stone, he really can send it with some speed. Throws it seemingly harder than everybody else. That's a real weapon. And he doesn't just have the power, he has the accuracy as well.
Här, kör mitten. Bra. Tage.
Precis.
So final stone here of the first end. Viljo Pettersson-Dahl.
Insättning Viljo.
Looks like they will just throw this one away. They're not interested in scoring one here.
Niklas 8,
Nothing
bra
in play.
fart också. Bra.
Nothing in the scoring area. That drifts right on through the house, and that was absolutely deliberate. Sweden don't want to give away the last stone advantage for just a score of one. That's very much central to the strategy in curling. Looking for multiple points when you've got the last stone and forcing your opposition only to score one. So we'll wait until the second end to see if we get our first score on the board. So Yenjo up. No score in the first end, relatively clean end, and that's the way China like it. They tend to play the takeouts well and keep it kind of low scoring and very tight. They don't give away many points, this Chinese team. The World Championships in October, they only gave away 4 multiple scores to their opposition when they had the last stone. The whole event, just an incredible statistic, really. Can be quite high scoring affairs in the wheelchair curling. An umpire's just arrived in the scene. I don't know what this guy is up to. Anyway, Kristina Olander doesn't seem to be bothered and is ready to deliver her first stone of the second end.
Det är bra.
4 positions in a curling team. The lead player, the second player, the third player, and the fourth player. And that reflects the order that they throw in. So Kristina Olander throwing to the wing. It's a tactic we actually saw in the Olympic Games from Team Hasselborg, the women's team. Especially early in the games. Not wanting to get drawn into the middle and choosing to play out to the wings when they have the last stone. Of course, Sweden winning the bronze medal at the Olympic Games just not so long ago. So Yenjo going for the takeout on the wing here. Looks pretty good. Excellent accuracy from the Chinese lead. Hits and sticks in the house. That's Yue Qingxuang, a real curling hero in China. Bronze medalist in 2010 at the Vancouver Olympics.
Ligger där. Bra.
Kändes bra.
Bra. Ja, det är bra fart. Curlar mycket, Kiki.
Ja.
Satte den fint.
Really understands how much her athletes rely on upper limb strength. That's Alison Krevizuk. She's a Canadian, relocated to Sweden about 7 or 8 years ago to live in Karlstad with her partner Fredrik Lindberg, who of course played in the Niklas Edin team, winning bronze medal at the Olympic Games in 2014. Yeah, Yue Qingxuang understands that her players rely on upper limb strength, and with the appropriate physical training, that can help them to better show their competitive state. Also, weekly psychological lectures will guide them and provide guarantee for their future response on the ice, enable them to compete under pressure. Really got a good plan in place, and it's really working. Paralympic gold 4 years ago and 2 world championships since. They really are delivering the Chinese wheelchair curling program.
Ligger bra. Bra, Moe.
Sju, åtta. Bra, Moe.
Matsulu Engborg with a huge run back double there. Not sure is exactly what was called, but they'll take it. Drives it absolutely square up the middle of the center line and peels that stone out of the house. So change of stone here, maybe a quick clean. The clocks will continue to tick away in the background, so China's clock running at the moment. Both teams have 38 minutes to complete their full complement of stones. 8 ends. And of course, as soon as this stone is delivered, then the clock will stop. It's only that time in between plays that's measured. This is really one of the characteristics of this Chinese team, really roaring the stones down the ice. Oh, what a draw here. What a shot from Zhang Mingyang. Right down onto the top of the button.
Det är din, Moe.
This team's making us an extremely strong start to this game. Two teams of the highest caliber going toe-to-toe here.
Eller så blir det. Bra, Moe.
Taget.
Bra. Tagen av Niklas 7. Ja, bra fart. Bra fart också. Bra, Moe.
Ja, jag har kärra på alla.
So again, there's that physical contact. Just helping to form that strong bond within the team. Then Yansin going for the takeout, and that's a great shot as well, coming round the guard. Nothing seems to be safe in this game. Seen other teams like maybe Norway and Great Britain just not quite as accurate with the takeouts, but this has been a sparkling display so far from Sweden and China. Ronnie Persson here won 5 medals in downhill skiing in 1998 Nagano and Salt Lake City 2002. Looks very much at home in the ice rink though.
Det är bra då nu.
Bra ut.
Nice draw here. It's a good line.
Härligt Ronny,
And
bra
the
på.
speed looks excellent as well. Right out into that red four-foot circle. Beautiful shot there by the Swedish third player. So here's Chen
这稍小一点啊。
coming down on the anti-clockwise rotation, coming down the right-hand side of the sheet. Needs to come around the guard.
行。
Oh, this one just over curls a little. Still opens up the shot stone, but maybe the first half chance here for Sweden in this second
加
then.
一点劲儿过。啊，再加一点劲儿。出点稍小点。
Gör det.
Chen Yanxin's been talking about what a thrill it is to compete for China in a home games in his hometown.
Det är bra där.
Gives him a warm feeling.
14-5.
And just hope that the Chinese team not putting too much pressure on themselves. Just Ronnie Persson just spotting something on the ice that he didn't like. Last thing you want to happen is for a piece of debris to get caught under the running band of the stone. It can throw the stone offline.
Ligger bra.
Playing surface needing to be absolutely immaculate to enable the players to perform at
Lite
their
tajtare än
absolute
förra, ja.
peak. Trying to throw a guard here. It looks like it's going to overcurl potentially.
16-3.
That's just curled a little bit too far. It's finished on that delivery line there. He really wanted it on that center line, the middle line of the three.
定也行啊。
So the takeout wide open here for China. Nothing impeding its way this time. So Wang Haitao.
行啊。
So that big weight takeout twice in the first end. Here's another one. Look at it rocketing down the ice. Hits it absolutely square in the face. What a shot.
1秒3。
Just pinpoint accuracy from the Chinese skip.
Där.
Ja.
Wang Haitao, 32 years old.
Lite inne. Bra där. Bra satt.
Vilja Pettersson down no slouch either in terms of speed. These two teams just going blow for blow at the moment. What's very clear early on in this game that it's going to be cagey stuff. Neither team's really going to take a huge amount of risk. Both teams very comfortable throwing takeouts. Sticks around too. So accurate from China. at that speed to stick around, it really is great stuff from the Chinese skip.
Känns det okej här?
Ja.
So Christina Olander holding the brush. That's the aiming point
Bra.
for the shot. Not where they want the stone to finish, but the line that the stone will set off on, and then it'll curl away from there. So that's all part of the game, trying to judge how much the stone is going to curl, and with those takeouts, they curl a little bit less. Final stone of the second end here.
Bra satt.
Julio Pettersson-Dahl will try and blank the end as he did in the first.
8-6.
Needs to do a little bit more this time. And will it roll out the rings? Needs to go a fraction
Bra,
further
Viljo.
now. Well, 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 well. I think we'll need to get the measure on that one. Having a quick look. Christina Olander not quite sure herself. So the umpire will come out with the measuring stick, known as the biter. Everybody taking a look.
Okay.
I think it's easy. Okay.
Okay.
Hallå?
Jag tror ju att den hänger.
Julio Pettersson-Dahl saying he thinks it's in, but
Measure.
Chen Yanxin
Det är bra kick.
wants the measure. I would have thought China would maybe want Sweden to score one. I maybe would have accepted that offer there from Julio Pettersson-Dahl. Does look, it's not a great camera angle this because it's over the top of the center of the house. You really need to be right over the top of the stone to decide whether it's in or not. This is important. It is only 1 point in the end, but it does dictate who starts the next end. If it's in, then Sweden will get the play underway in the third. If it's not, then China will. When you score, you lose the last stone advantage going into the next end. Well, not even close, really. In the house. But better to be certain. It is a score of 1 here in the second end for Sweden. Julio Pettersson-Dahl so close to hitting and rolling out the rings that after that measure, a score of 1 confirmed. And when we return in the third end, it will be Sweden 1, People's Republic of China 0. So Sweden 1, China 0. Will be interesting to see how Sweden approach the strategy in this end. Now that things have changed, they don't have the last stone as they did in the first 2 ends. We saw them playing relatively negatively. They kind of played safe and threw the draws out to the wings, rather than coming around the center guards. This one drifting all the way to the back of the house. So China could well play a takeout, or they could throw a guard. It's not really much of a threat, that stone, with it being at the back of the house. Looks like just a guard here from Yunzhou.
Go, hurry!
That's very typical when you have the last stone, trying to throw your guards over to the side of the ice to keep the center open. Maybe a little bit longer and a little bit wider than China would have liked. Difficult to find the
13-5.
space in the house behind that one.
Ligger bra.
Känns bra.
Ja då.
Farten känns bättre.
Kiki Erlander, one of the most experienced players in world curling. She started in 2006 in Härnösand, the home of the infamous Swedish Curling Academy, churning out international player after international player. Also works as an administrator for a Swedish Education Association, three-time world medalist. Now gets one and the second. What a shot from Yunjo. So often you associate draw and guard play with the lead positions, not thought to be as accurate with the takeouts, but that certainly isn't the case for the Chinese lead. That was an absolute beauty.
Inne. Bra. Lite tight.
Ja. Ville nästan slå ur.
Ser ut att hålla bra ändå. 8-5. Är bra Moe.
Är bra Moe.
Good take out there. Sticks around as well.
Ja, den.
Lots and lots of takeout play here in the third end. China really do throw those stones hard down the ice. And the result is that sometimes it does hit and spin out the rings.
Sträck ut
You don't hit it
Moe.
in exactly the right spot, it won't stay around. The granite of these stones really quite springy. So unless you hit it absolutely square, they will tend to move around.
Bra.
So everyone with a job in the team. Ronnie Persson in there behind, securing Mats-Ulla Engborg's chair. Kristina Olander setting the stone up and timing the stone with her stopwatch.
Kommer mycket, kändes lite där bara.
For the speed of the takeout, going for the peel here. Hits and rolls back towards the center line.
Skruva lite.
Jag觉得可以再放一点。
你跟他说。
嫂子，再放一点行吗？
It's quite warm in the National Aquatic Centre. You can see there that Jiang Mingliang has some quite warm leg wear on there. That's quite typical in wheelchair curling to have a good pair of warm trousers, maybe some blankets. Don't quite have the same exertion that you would have in the Olympic format with the sweeping and whatnot. And that's the thing, when you've been throwing lots of takeouts, sometimes it can be hard just to dial it back and make those draw shots. Just require a little bit more finesse, and that one drifts all the way through the house. Sweden happy to play the defensive game as well.
Du vet vad som händer. Distinkt.
Ligger bra.
Swedish third, Ronnie Persson, trying to peel the guard off. Just kicks it and moves it off to the side. So now, China do have a chance to draw around that. That's what they were trying to manufacture earlier in the end when they threw the corner guard over here. The great thing about this when you have the last stone advantage is that if you do draw out to the wings and keep the center open, then there really is no risk, because whatever happens over there, you would think that with the last stone at the end, you're going to have a wide open draw to the button to be able to score. But maybe, just maybe, they can score multiple points. It's a good one here to make the draw here. Chen Yanxin. Slow down now, slow down. Is it going to grip the rings? It does. It just rears up in time and touches the edge of the 12-foot circle. Probably will be quite well seen though by the Swedish team. They'll probably still be able to play a takeout on that red. It is in a scoring position at the moment.
Räcker i sen, tror du? Ja. Bra!
We've seen a couple of the nations lining up the players on the other end of the ice. And that very much happens in this Swedish team. Filio Pettersson confirming Ronnie Persson's lineup. And it works, makes the takeout, but does roll out of the rings. Maybe a second opportunity for Wang Bintao. So Chen Yanxin taking a little bit less ice on this one, just moving the target a little bit further over in an effort to get hidden in behind the guard.
Go,
hurry! Go, hurry! Go!
He's trying to take a little bit of speed off from the previous one. He's got a great line, but comes up a bit shy and doesn't make it down into those painted circles, the house as it's known. That is not in a scoring position. So now it's Sweden's turn to try and make that same shot, trying to throw one up the center and curl it out to the wings and behind the guards. Sweden smelling a chance here to maybe force China to score one and allow Sweden to get that last stone advantage back, that all-important hammer. Such a smooth delivery. Nothing jerky about it. Very controlled and just slides through the stone.
14-1.
Oh, has this one got the running though? Got a great line. Just comes up a little shy as well. You can see if that stone is in the center line, it would have been touching the house, but just with the curvature of the house, doesn't quite make it down there, doesn't touch the rings, isn't in a scoring position. So we've seen a few attempts in a row here from these two teams. Who's going to be able to make this draw first and really take the upper hand here in this third end? Not a lot of rotation in this one. See curl quite a lot. Almost stalling. And again, another draw just through the house. These teams with all these takeouts they played, it really is difficult to kind of slow things down and get a feel for the draws when you've been launching stones for most of the first three ends.
13-5.
Both teams struggling with that at the moment. Really quick ice conditions here in the ice cube.
Sätter den fint. Bra Vilja. Torp 3.
Well, it is quite possible as every
Fina
stone
sättningar.
Ja, de kändes
goes
bra i
down
linjen.
that path. The heads of the pebble, the little bumps on the ice, little frozen water droplets on the surface of the ice. With every stone that goes down there, a few of the heads gets knocked off. The path gets a little faster. And Viljo Pettersson just trying to put a little bit of extra speed on his first one, but in doing so, catches the fast track and drifts right on through the house. So it looks like this third end is going to be blanked. No heroics required here from the Chinese. They're going to be quite happy to come back in the fourth end with the last on. It really was a missed opportunity there for Sweden. So for the uninitiated, that was absolutely deliberate. He just threw that stone away to keep that last stone advantage. And after 3 ends, Sweden leading People's Republic of China by 1 shot to 0. Pretty close in the statistics so far, both in terms of shot play and on the scoreboard as well. Coaching bench just above the ice, and the players can converse with the coaching bench in between ends. Not during the end though. Of course, both teams have the option of a 1-minute timeout where they can call a timeout and their coach will come down to offer some input.
Kändes okej. Flera dåligt.
Kristina Olander, maybe just not quite as much rotation as she would have liked on this one. Again, the handle almost kind of stalling here a little bit, and we'll see it just kind of veer back towards the center. But nice shot here by Kristina Olander. Sweden maybe trying to up the ante here, putting a guard up on the center line. All teams must have 1 male and 1 female in the team, and then there's 3 gender-free positions. This seems like a good idea to have. Make sure that you have, in most instances, a female player as your alternate, because they must field a female player at all times. Most of these teams, the makeup of them are predominantly male.
13-8 hade hon där. 13-2.
Ja.
6 eller?
Ja, det är nog lite plus på den här också. Nej, inte så mycket tror jag.
One female player in their team, that's Yanchuo, the lead. Sweden, they have a female alternate in Sabina Johansson.
Nu roterar den inte alls. Den här är bara plus för lite plus.
Inne. Där ja.
You can hear the call from Viljo Pettersson-Dahl. Ina asking her to kind of move it inside. She was obviously aiming a little bit too wide at that point.
Well,
maybe just a little bit short of speed there. And doesn't make the draw around, curls a little bit earlier than he would have liked. And a few stones building up around the center line, which is good in terms of we might get a few stones in play this end. I think now we're getting into the kind of middle of the game, these two teams will be getting much more comfortable, much more familiar with the playing conditions. Any nerves may well have passed. Might be able to take a little bit more risk now to try and get some multiple points on the board. Nice draw here by the Chinese lead. Very nice indeed.
Niklas!
Vänta, då kommer jag ju förstöra lite så. Nu, bra. Bra där.
So those delivery sticks can't be longer than about 2 meters 45 centimeters in length. Most of these teams these days do tend to max out that length. Delivery sticks previously much shorter. They can be adjusted in between throws if they need to, though. So that's how Engborg opens things up a bit. Removes that red guard. Chips his Yellowstone on them. May well have wanted to just kind of spin that through a little bit more, but still a good shot there by Engborg. Another interesting thing to note about these delivery sticks is that, unlike in the Olympic format, players don't have to twist the handle to put the rotation on. That's all done by the technology within those GTX heads on the end of the delivery sticks. Well, that's a beauty as well. Great shot there by Zhang. Ning Liang. China lying two here, and they do have that last one advantage here in the fourth end.
Den har du. Sträck ut ordentligt. Ja. Den är din. Du är ingen där, Matilda.
Det är din, Moe.
Fokus.
Bra!
Fint släpp.
Bra, Moe. Kändes bra.
7-8.
Det är bra.
Ja. 1,5.
1,5.
Ja. Så du kan fixa lite till bara. Det är bra, grabbar.
Just changing equipment there as those delivery sticks. They will all bring their delivery sticks to the arena. That's not equipment that's provided by the facility or the competition organisers. The stones, however, they are all here already. They're provided by the World Curling Federation. All made of granite from the Ailsa Craig off the west, an island off the west of Scotland. Here's another fabulous shot here from Zhang Mingyang. He's really given China the upper hand here in this fourth end with two terrific shots. That first tap up and then another deft touch coming down the other side of the sheet and right down onto the back of the bottom. This is much more like it from China.
Ja, den är fin.
Det är antingen det
Ja,
eller
Vill du prova den?
Ja.
Okej. Jag tänker 8.
Ja, eller så öppnar vi liksom. Så tänker jag.
Eller så blir det öppet. Det är skitsamma där.
Ja, så.
Ja, jag gillar det.
Some more defensive play here from Sweden. Maybe trying the run back here on their own yellow guard. Ronnie Persson having a good game so far.
Bra.
Playing 67% overall.
Exakt.
The stats a little bit lower in wheelchair curling than we'd expect to see in the Olympic format. Trying to drive back and removes his own Yellowstone. Opens things up though. Lots of positive reinforcement still from the Swedish team, despite that mistake there. Not too worried about losing that yellow stone in the house, though. It was really just getting in the way, but they would have liked to get one of those red stones out the back of the forefoot circle. Chen Yanxin with a chance to pile another red stone in here.
Whoa.
This final end of the first half, 8 ends in total. After 4 ends, the teams do get a 5-minute break to consult with the coaching staff. It's just drifted a little bit further than they would have liked. They've left a big target there for Sweden. You might see a fair bit of granite flying here.
Ja.
Oh, this one's not going to be short speed here from Ronnie Persson. He'll want to get as much of those red stones out of the rings as possible here.
Bra!
Kändes okej.
Ja då.
Kanske
How's this one
något
looking for
ut där.
Ronnie Persson? Looks like a good line here. How many can he get going? Oh, it's a double takeout from Ronnie Persson. What a shot there. That was much needed for Sweden, who were in quite a perilous position before that stone. Sneaks past the guard, moves both those red stones, and sticks around on the wing. What a shot there by the Swedish third player. Sweden not out of the woods yet, though. Chen Yanxin going to throw another one in. Really chasing this one down the ice with their voices. Would love to get a piece of the house. Just sneaks in the front door. Good shot there by Yanxin. Would have liked to be lying in second shot position. As things stand, China only lying one by virtue of that yellow stone furthest left in the house. That lying in shot position, out counting that red stone just thrown by Chen Yanxin.
Lite ute där. Bra.
So, Filio Pettersson Dahl to play.
Bra.
Really an excellent shot maker. Has really moved his game on over the last 4 years after the disappointment of not qualifying for the playoffs in 2018. And here's another beauty here. Hits and checks on the cover as well.
Bra Vilja.
Sweden lying 2. This end has really turned on its head just with those last 3 stones. A super double takeout from Ronnie Persson. Draw comes up a little bit shy from China. And then that was absolutely inch perfect there by the Swedish skip Filio Pettersson Dahl, hitting and rolling under cover. So just 3 stones to come here in this 4th end. Wang Haitao. We know he loves to play the takeouts. Going for another one here. Actually only played 1 draw and he missed it, so maybe better to stick with the takeouts, using the full width of that delivery area. Sneaks past the first one, but chips his own stone at the front of the house. And Sweden still lying 2. It wasn't so long ago that China were lying 3.
Okej, då missade jag.
Vill du ha på 5?
Kom igen.
Ja.
Kör 5.
Perfekt.
Guard.
So the guard called. Wanted to protect that shot stone.
Lite ute. Bra där.
Ja, kom igen.
Kan jag driver. Den driver iväg sidleden.
Not quite happy with the setup, so doing absolutely the right thing and resetting and starting again. Starting his pre-shot routine, his process all over.
Bra. Bra där, William. Bra, Sam.
So again, trying to manage that transition from a big heavyweight takeout to throwing a gentle guard down the ice.
14-6.
Curling early here. Curls right across onto the center line and perfectly protects that yellow stone. They have taken a little bit of a risk here, Sweden, in that China could try a double takeout off that wide yellow stone. Does look like there's a bit of an angle there. It's going to require a huge amount of firepower here to make that double takeout. It's very, very flat. We've got a long way to push that second yellow stone as well to bring that other red into play. Maybe worth a go though. Certainly don't want to risk giving up a steal of 2. If anybody has the power to make this shot, it's Wang Haitao. Final stone here in the 4th end. Sends it on his way. He likes it. He's eyeing it up. Makes contact with the first one. Oh, just a little too thin. And it slides underneath that yellow Swedish stone. So close there for the Chinese skip. Incredible accuracy. Just needed to hit maybe a millimetre more of that wide yellow stone. And they may well have kicked the other yellow out the side door to score 2. So close there for Wang Haitao. It's a steal of 1 in the 4th end for Sweden. And perhaps some revenge here for Sweden. Now leading by 2 shots at the halftime break. Still 4 ends to come. People's Republic of China, Yanzhou. Top stat there, 72%. You'd expect the players playing earlier in the end to play slightly higher statistics, playing easier shots in theory with there being less stones in play at that point. Generally, typically get more difficult as you go through the end.
大家没有找得更准，然后呢，就是丢掉了，但也没有关系啊， 因为现在你第5局，我觉得你这局你就可以往回得分了，对吧？这局一定要咱们哪怕得1分，也得得，得完以后过来，然后咱再接着投，行不行？啊，然后这局这么打。
Beijing Shuang with the tactical board there, talking through some positions. Really strong performance from Sweden, though, outplaying their Chinese counterparts pretty much across the board. 71% of the team. Pettersson Dahl and Christina Olander having a well-deserved hot drink. Peter Narup, the coach in the middle there. One of the national coaching staff, 3-time world champion. Famous Swedish team skipped by Pia Lindholm in the late 90s and early 2000s. Not much between these two teams, just Sweden making a few more shots.
8 sekunder plus på grönt.
Vi testar dem där inne nu.
You know, if I was picking a coaching bench to play a game of curling, especially a game of mixed doubles, you wouldn't look far past Alison Krevizok and Peter Narup. There's a lot of international medals and a lot of international experience in that bench. Alison Krevizok winning a silver medal and a bronze medal in 2013 and 2014 at the World Women's Championships for Canada. Playing for Rachel Holman team from Ontario, Canada. Just those 2 solitary singles in the 2nd and 4th ends. Did say it was probably going to be a low-scoring game here in this rematch of the World Championship final from just a few months ago here in the Ice Cube. Score 5-3 on that occasion. It took an extra end to separate these two teams. China stealing in the extra end to become the world champions for the 2nd time in 3 years. So here's Christina Olander ready to get the 2nd half underway here on day 2. Sweden leading China by 2 shots to 0. Christina Olander, one of the most experienced curlers in the world. Started all the way back in 2006. Wheelchair curling just really coming to life in the late 1990s. Switzerland credited with really kind of conceiving the game, and the first World Championship took place in 2002 in Surrey in Switzerland. Wasn't long before it took to the Paralympic stage in 2006 for the first time in Torino in Italy. Canada have been pretty dominant throughout the years on the Paralympic stage, winning the first 3 gold medals in 06, 10 and 14. But this Chinese team, this same lineup, winning the Paralympic gold medal 4 years ago in Pyeongchang. Sweden, one of only 3 nations to have won multiple medals in the Paralympics in the wheelchair event. Picking up a silver and a bronze in 2006 and 2010. It's been 12 years. Maybe it's time that Sweden return to the podium and get their first gold medal.
Ja, men jag tror att den har linjen.
Okej.
Ja, det är bra, Kiki.
Well, excellent setup play once again by Kiki Olander. Just a reminder of the aim of the game here.
往外甩也行。
4 players in each team throwing 2 stones each in every single end. 8 ends to be played. They'll throw alternately, and once all 16 stones have been played in the end, they'll determine who is closest to the middle of those painted circles, the house as it's known, and how many are closer than the opposition's nearest one. The score is cumulative. It's only 2-0 after the 4th end break.
Go, go, go!
Well, Yenjo chips the guard and moves it over to the side. That's a good shot there by the Chinese lead. If they'd hit just a little bit more of that and pushed it out of play entirely, then it would have been a foul shot because of the free guard zone rule. Would have been replaced. Neither team allowed to remove any stones out in front of the house for the first 5 played stones of the end.
Bra.
Två varv, 13-6.
13-6.
Lite hård.
Härlig linje.
More good play by Sweden, keeping the pressure on China.
Inget konstigt, ser bra ut.
May have wanted that one just short of the house though. Chance to double take out and lie here for China. Zhang Minliang to play. Throwing second stones for China.
Whoa!
Looks pretty close here. Certainly going to get one and the second one. What a shot there by the Chinese second. Fraction unfortunate to jam that second yellow stone on the red stone in the dead zone just outside the house. Still lies in the house over there, but he's clearly delighted with that one, and rightly so. What a shot there.
Ligger där. Bra.
So Mats Ola Engborg with that side delivery position. He's had a good game so far, the Swedish second player. Oldest member of the team is 64 years old. Oh, and is that one touching the house? Just rolled into his wide yellow. Did it stick around? Wang Haitao just going for an observation.
再选一个。
再放点4号。
So I'm sure Yue Qingshuang, the Chinese coach at halftime, saying to the Chinese, right, okay, we need to be a little bit more aggressive here and take a little bit of chance. They've got the last stone here in the 5th end. They could play a takeout on the wing to empty the house, but they won't be happy to settle just for a score of 1. Touch that yellow stone to the house. Just pushes it to the side. Great effort there by the Chinese second.
Vad tror ni om is? Kommer rätt mycket va?
Ja, där borde det vara okej.
Bra. Bra.
So here's Ronnie Persson, 5 times Paralympic medalist in downhill skiing, para skiing from 1998 Olympics, Paralympics and 2002.
Ja, lite, jag håller med.
8-6. Bra.
Gör jobbet!
Bra Ronny.
Second appearance at the Paralympic Games in the wheelchair curling event for Ronnie Persson. Tough start to the event for this Chinese team. They are the favourites coming in, but drawing Canada in on the first day and now Sweden on the second day, it really doesn't get much more difficult than that. And that's a great effort at the draw there from Chen Yat-sen. Hangs around close enough to the middle to lie in shot position. At least starts to ask the question of Sweden. This one slightly more difficult. Needs to navigate those two guards. Get past them to remove the red stone here.
Bra! Kändes bra.
Kändes bättre.
Håller med.
So how's it looking? Gets by the first one and the second one and hits and sticks around. Beautiful shot there by the Swedish third player. Sweden lying two at least with that stone there at the back of the house, and the one just coming in on the right hand side also touching the rings. So as things stand, doesn't look like China will be able to blank this end. Again, a very conservative call here from China, calling the takeout on this stone at the back of the house. Oh, it slides right on by. That's a huge mistake from China. A complete miss there by the Chinese third. And the wheels are coming off a little bit for the Chinese at the moment.
Ja. Jag tror 13 är en bra fart.
Yu Qingxuan can't even look.
Bra!
Well, it was a little bit of a strange call for me for the Chinese there, but it doesn't matter what shots are called, then you're better to make them, and that was completely missed there.
Lite ute. Bra.
So now Sweden with the opportunity to capitalize on that mistake there from China. So just drawing one out to the wing here, just getting more yellow granite into the house.
Snyggt! Bra, Vilja.
Lovely weight, really nice draw here by the Swedish third skip, sorry. So Sweden lying three at least here in this fifth end. China needing to find some answers quickly. They've just got two stones to come to retrieve this situation here in the fifth end. So you can just see Chen Yat-sen's delivery stick there at the bottom of the screen there. That's the aiming point for Wang Haitao. Not having his best game, only 50% so far. That stat will need to increase if China want to have a chance of winning this game. That's a pretty good start. Hits it absolutely square on the nose. Great shot there by the Chinese skip. But nothing too fancy required here from Sweden. They just need to get that red stone out of there. A very good end, this fifth end from the Swedes. Really building on that excellent first half. So often you can see teams getting an early lead and then resting on their laurels and allowing the opposition to come back into it, but no signs of that from this Sweden side. So curling across the ice here, and hits it and rolls over to the side as well. So this really is a crucial moment here on day two, China and Sweden. And Wang by sorry, Wang Haitao has struggled with the draw game so far. He's only played one draw, but he missed it entirely. And you would think that if he missed this one, it may well be fatal. Sweden lying 3 at least in the house. Good thing for China though, there is quite a lot of space to work with, and that yellow stone just furthest away from his, or furthest left there, that's something that can be rested against here for a little bit of comfort. But this really is a key moment here in the 5th end. Wang Haitao sends it on its way. Needs to be pretty much touching that white 8-foot circle. Looks like he's got a good line. Curling across the ice. Oh, that's a fabulous shot. Oh, it's actually curled between them. Unbelievable. I don't think he could have done that if he tried. Sneaks past the first one and slides off the second one. That really was unlucky there for the Chinese skip. Kiki Lander absolutely delighted with that steal of 2. Can you believe it? For all the world, it looked like China were going to secure that score of 1. But Sweden now leading the defending Paralympic champions by 4 shots to 0. Perhaps an upset on the cards here. Sweden just on imperious form here on day 2. 75% accuracy. World-class stuff from Sweden. China with a lot of work to do here and not a lot of time to do it. 5 ends already in the books.
Vi drar in, Kiki!
Dra in! 13! Bra där!
Ja, ligger något där. Bra!
Dra när du vill.
Ja, oj.
So Kristina
Ja, dra in
Olander
den
of
lite.
Arnosand in the north of Sweden,
Och så har han tagit
home of the
lite.
Swedish Curling Academy,
Tack Per, nu är jag nöjd.
where
Där är jag
the
nöjd.
students are able to
Ja, nu.
select curling as a
Bra.
subject to study. It's got a curling rink in-house. Develops many of the
Kändes bra!
top curlers you see today, including Niklas Edin and Oscar Eriksson.
Den kändes bra.
13-9!
1,5.
Well, that's maybe just picked up actually. It didn't look like it was really spinning down the ice well at all. Might have grabbed a piece of debris or maybe just not enough handle put on the stone, but that's a little bit of a mistake early in the end from Sweden. When you're leading in the game, you really want to be playing in the house and not leaving guards for your opposition to use. Sweden, of course, leading by 4 here.
Dra runt, Kiki!
Ja.
Ja,
5 eller? Mer?
där. Ta där.
Bra. Ligger bra. 13.
13.
Bra. Bra, Kiki.
Kändes
Olander
okej.
sends
Ja
this
då.
stone on its way, trying to come around the guard throw with their first stone. Certainly got a little bit more running than the first one, but they'll need this one to slow down a little bit. And that's so often the case, drifts on through the house. You come up a little bit short with the first one, you know you need to make a correction. Just overdoes it slightly.
对。
So maybe a chance here for China. Chen Yanxin in the
南边就行。
house there, holding the brush here for Yan Zhuo.
大一点啊。
好。
行啊。
好。
行，没问题。
一定要。
So start to bend and break now as the speed comes out. The stone looks like a good weight coming right down onto the edge of the button. What a shot from the Chinese lead.
Niklas! Bra!
直吧，后面直着吧，少掉一个。På fast och fart, det är din Moe.
Bra!
Well, that stone just played by the Chinese lead is still possible to be removed here. Mats Ola Engberg, and from what we've seen so far in this game, he makes shots like this in his sleep.
Niklas 0, jättefin
This one
fart
no
på
different, even gets a hit and roll on the cover. What a shot there by Mats Ola Engberg. This Swedish team have really come to play here on day 2. Just waiting for Wong Hai Tao to return to the game to assess the situation. So lots of cuddles as always. The Swedish team obviously enjoyed themselves. Really have worked hard on that psychological side of the game, supporting each other. They've really bonded as a unit in the last 5 years. So Zhang Mingliang trying to come around on a clockwise handle, trying to make a freeze on that stone just played by Engberg. Needs to go now, needs to get down there. Just comes up a little short of the house.
15. Upp! Lite över curl från linan är fint.
Ja.
Är vi där, tro?
Ja, i borde gå där va?
Ja.
Kom igen, 15.
15, det är din Moe.
Kom igen. Den har du.
Ute. Bra. Det är bra, Moe.
Ett och ett halvt.
Härligt, Moe. Bra fart.
Bra Moe, snyggt!
Another nice shot here by Engberg. Blocks up that court between the yellow stone on the centre line and the red on the left-hand side. Stopping China from making a takeout on the stone in the house. So Engberg, one of the older players in the tournament. You see how wide out on the ice there. Wong Hai Tao really is very curly conditions here in the ice cube. Needing to maximize the full width of the sheet here. Trying to come around high side of the guard. This one's curling too early though, and actually going to raise that red stone up. Not far enough though to reach the house. And Sweden really are in pole position here. Lying one, leading by 4. Very much looks like Sweden just having to shut up shop here.
Inne. Bra.
15 till 16.
Ja.
Okej.
Det är din Ronny.
Japp.
Inne. Bra. Ja då.
Kändes okej.
Ja, håller med.
Of course, Sweden was the home of the first official Winter Paralympic
13-7.
Games in Orange-Gold in Sweden in 1976. This is the 13th edition of the Paralympic Winter Games.
Ja, 直接传的往里来。
The original beginnings of the movement starting after the Second World War in Stoke Mandeville. Dr. Ludwig Gutmann at the Stoke Mandeville
两个刚才那13秒进不去是吧？13秒3没进来。
starting sport there in archery as a means of rehabilitation for soldiers returning from the war with injuries. And it really spiraled from there. China with a lot of work to do here in the 6th end. Just can't quite put it all together. The combination of line and weight just isn't there at the moment. And there's such a lot of granite in the way now.
Ganska rakt. Ska vi minska lite bara?
Going to get in
Ja, jag
there
ska få ner farten lite
that
också.
yellow stone on the edge of the
14,
button.
15, 15.
Ja.
Inne lite.
With every stone that passes, another guard goes up from
Vi
Sweden.
tänker fortfarande 15 va?
Ja.
Ja. Jag hoppar lite. Ja. Bra.
Inne lite. Bra.
Lite tight.
Ja, håller med.
A little bit inside the target line
Hålla
there.
ändå rätt så bra. Den gardar i alla fall lite. Det är bra. Bra fart! 15,
Don't be too
5.
concerned though. There's so much
Ja, bra. Det är bra.
protection out there in front. It really is on China to pull out something spectacular here in this 6th end.
打这儿，这么来就能刮这个。行，打哪儿？打这儿。行，头甩这儿行。好，找中间打呗。啊？找中间打，找这儿。能放一点不？好。
Really has been a slow start here on day 2 from China. Still time to sort things out though. They really can't afford to give up a score here in the 6th end. They can't afford to go 5 shots behind with just 2 ends to come against a Sweden team that's on fire right now. Goes for the run back. Doesn't make that either. Chen Yanxin trying to blast the way in. Just isn't happening at the moment for the Chinese third player. Clearly been outplayed by an on-fire Ronnie Persson. 79%. Incredible stats by the Swedish third.
Bra där.
Kom igen. Lugn och fin.
So Christina Ulander holding the brush there, some approximately 45 meters away from Velio Pettersson-Dahl at the other end of the sheet. The stones go back and forth up the ice. After this end comes to a conclusion, they'll then play back in the other direction and so forth for 8 ends. Well, it doesn't make the guard exactly as it would have liked, but just does enough to push that red over to close the gap.
Ja. Bra. Bra, Viljo. Ja, det gjorde det.
Not a lot of chat going on there in the Chinese team. Trying to work out how they're going to get in there.
能过，能，直接打地，把那个边儿的这么斜，也行，打外角，软不这红的找一下这个，行。
They could try a raise on that redstone just moved up by Vilio Pettersson-Dahl. Choosing the one on the other side. So they can try and hit that redstone on the 18-inch line. Just next to Chen's delivery stick target. Could try the other one on the other side, maybe a better option just to open things up a bit more. He's got a few more options over there, but let's see how this one works out for Wang Haitao.
没问题，不行，我那个黄的找个也行。
Got that little green pole with the handle on the top for his right hand, just to give himself a little bit of extra support and purchase. So much power that it takes 2 players to stabilize his chair. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Where's that one going? Oh, pushes it right up into the house. Great result there for China. Finally, something going their way. There's like pinball out the front of the house there. Stones flying everywhere. Hit it a little bit thinner than planned, but manages to squeeze one up into the house. At least out counting that front yellow stone. So Sweden still with that stone on the side of the button in a really strong position here.
Ja. Kan gå upp på 15.
Ligger bra där. Bra satt!
So just another guard here. It's really been a dream end for Sweden. They got a good one in there early with Maxwell Engborg playing a super hit and roll, and it's just been guards ever since. The easiest shot in the book, really. And that was absolutely perfect there from Vilio Pettersson-Dahl.
停留在后边，还有 run 吗？
世界难题。
找双飞打你，当然有两个。
I know that what they want to do is just finding a straightforward way of doing it is the problem. They want to get that yellow stone out of there, and they would love to score 2, but it's really difficult to see how they can do it with all those yellow stones out in front.
要不喊个暂停，问问打双飞行吗？
The draw may well be the only option here for China,
直接奔双飞干。
with almost no space to work with. Well, timeout called here by People's Republic of China, and Yue Qingxuan will make her way down to the ice. Almost like phone a friend, these timeouts. Just asking her to come down and see if there's an option that they've missed.
但是你现在你要是用他那个球找的话，我觉得有风险，容易让人得2个，对不对？这个黄的也没有了吧？黄的也没有。我觉得就是往里，就是看看能不能薄蹭，或者是说直接旋进来呢？
不好旋。
不好旋呢？拿哪个找？
拿它找它。
你要找的话，你得找里角，找里角薄皮儿，然后往下挤。你不能找外角，找外角的话容易刮自己的。你只能拿里角，就是这个黄球的里边这个角，薄的，然后让它往下走。
上把那个打那个角就行。
可以。
上把打不外角打薄了吗？
对。
上把那角其实就是打这个双飞是正好的角。
对，你要打的话，只能打里角，薄这个里侧，这么薄着，擦个小薄边，然后让它往下拽。千万不能打外角，只能打里角。外角相关性太重了，就打里角薄的，然后往下挤黄的，行不行？尝试一个。
不好过呀，真的。你看前面有站位，我还得知道。
我觉得可以尝试一个。
So that's the end of the Chinese timeout, their only timeout that they can call in the game. Sweden still have theirs intact. Not too sure what they decided on in the end. It's very difficult to see how China can score 2. May be able to play some sort of a double takeout on those 2 yellow stones in the house. Just come off the inside of that yellow onto the other one. Devilishly difficult shot though for China. No sweepers either in wheelchair curling. Just makes the difficulty level all the higher. Still doesn't seem entirely clear about what the shot is here. He knows how difficult that draw is. Maybe this is the moment they need to take a bit of extra risk. If they did hit the inside of that yellow and play a double takeout and stick it, there may be a chance to score 3. Looks like a 1 in 100 shot though.
9秒，打哪家啊？那家基本就这儿。行。
So Chen just indicating where he wants Wang Haitao to hit this yellow stone. Just needs to feather off it really, just hit maybe a centimetre or less. Just enough to redirect it back towards that stone in the bottom. The Chinese crowd getting behind their team here. They know how important this shot is. Spending a lot of time over this shot. So here he is, Wang Haitao, Paralympic champion, world champion, with a huge shot here. Needs to be so accurate. Trying to slide off the inside of this one. Oh, what an effort. Gets the second one. Oh, just needs to hit a paper width less. And that would have removed the other yellow stone and got a score of 2. That was an unbelievable attempt by the Chinese skip. You really can't leave him anything like that. Just hits a small piece, just a slightly thinner contact. And they would have both gone, he thought he had it, can't believe it. But just a terrific attempt by the Chinese skip. But it's another point on the board for Sweden. After 6 ends, Sweden 5. China still to get on the board. Sweden really outplaying the defending Paralympic champions and hosts China. 5-0. And Sweden just haven't given People's Republic of China a chance to breathe in this match, such has been the quality of their play. Playing 75% as a team, that's just incredible stats in wheelchair curling. Just haven't given China a sniff. Christina Yolander gets this 7th end underway. Who would have thought China not able to get on the scoreboard this far? They were really close in that last end. Wang Haitao nearly pulling out one of the shots of the week. But it wasn't to be, and another steel win on the board for Sweden. Sweden have got to be feeling good right now. Lost out by the narrowest of margins in that World Championship. That test event for the Paralympics here in the Ice Cube just 4 months ago. Lost out to China, and they are exacting their revenge here in this round-robin match on day 2.
15秒。
6 kanske på den då.
Där eller?
Ja, lite till kanske.
Bra.
Bra där.
Ligger där. Snyggt.
Tänk 13, 13, 5.
13, 13, 5.
Ja. Eller framkanten bak.
Ja. Jag undrar vad vi har där.
12, 8 hade du på förra.
Bra. 13, 13, 5.
Ja.
Bra.
Kändes bra.
Ja.
Det är bra.
12, 6. Det är bra kick, Hip.
Stopp.
Well, those two Yellowstones drifting past the T-line, which is useful for China. Looks good. Sweden lying too, but both back of the T-line. And China may well be able to use them to their advantage by playing the draw game, trying to get lots of stones in play. And Yan Zhuo trying to come around on the clockwise rotation.
Ja.
Just 8 ends of play here at the Paralympics. Of course, the Olympic Games, it's 10 ends. The 8-end format, probably more typically seen in ice rinks and clubs across the world. At a recreational level, the 10-end format may be more of a traditional thing, played at the elite end. May well just be a matter of time before we see 8-end games across the board in the world of curling, at both the Olympics and the Paralympics.
Kom igen. Den är din.
Ute. Bra.
Every single Paralympics, we see the standard of wheelchair curling going up and up.
Ja då.
These teams getting more and more accurate every single time. And the strategy improving as well. The sport still very much in its infancy.
14-4.
20-year anniversary since the first World Championship.
Ja, rent generellt.
这么学？
Ja.
第二个。哦，这样那也行。
Oh.
So China once again will try this clockwise draw here. Set to will be
13秒，我觉得应该
Ming
行。
Liang to play.
行。
行，没问题。
力量不大。
我再掉一点了。12秒7啊！
China's got a good line here. Can he make the freeze? Well, that's why you want to keep your stones in front of the T-line. That T-line, that horizontal line across the ice. As soon as you go past that, you drift past the button and means that the opposition can rest up against it and makes it so difficult to remove. Just no space between these two stones. And that will be a problem for Sweden here. Needing a good one here to match it.
Kom igen. Jag äger den. Jag får nog hoppa dit. Japp. Jag är med. Kom igen.
Bra!
Linjen bra.
Satte den bra, Moen?
He's happy with the line. Has it got enough rotation on it? Is the question.
12-4.
Looking pretty good. Is it going to curl enough to get to the nose? It won't. Perhaps just a little bit too much speed there from Engborg. Doesn't curl enough. And a bit of a wince there on the face of Engborg. There's a super draw though by Zhang. has created this opportunity, and he'll be looking for the same again here, the Chinese second player.
行，他了解你。
小点啊！能过去就是好球，能过能过，来了，我
It's a good line. He's just played it. It's just a carbon copy. Well. Look at that shot. China making a late charge here.
哎呀，我差点13秒。
And one thing I think we can pick up from that is that it is a good pair of stones that Chinese second player has. Stones are matched to look for any kind of slight differences between them. They are made of natural materials, so they can move and react slightly differently with the ice, but he really played those two stones exactly the same. And a timeout called here from Sweden. This is the first time that we've seen Sweden on the back foot, really, since the early exchanges.
Ja, den är ju väldigt hög grad, så att den är ju väldigt spelbar, men 10 ser man ju.
Ja, 10 går. Men en 10, då blir ju den röda kvar, alltså 4.
Ja, den ska vara kvar. Alltså, vi kan ju aldrig få bort den.
Nej.
Men jag menar, kommer vi upp chatt på den i kalas, stöta ut den i hålet.
Ja, jag gillar den.
Och även om den jammar lite där och hänger, så har vi 2 som ska vara bättre. Och sen ställer vi till det för dem med den.
So timeout called, and
den gillar ju jag.
Alternativet är ju drag.
Antingen är ju vaggan
du
har ju vaggan för
making his way along.
Här. Ja. Och den finns ju fortfarande
finns ju här. Även också här.
Ja.
Men kan du få ner den på andra sidan?
Jag menar, garden är ju hög.
Det är klart att dragningen ner dit har väl varit optimalt kanske. Men...
Ja, då är det väl att spela med ju draget. Måste jag säga, Peter.
Den är sugna på?
Antingen är det ju draget ner.
Ja.
Jag menar, hela fyrfoten här är ju fin.
Ja.
Äger vi framkanten fyrfot är det bra.
Ja.
Den i så fall.
Ja, den är ju helt okej också. Gillar samma från utsidan också.
Den finns ju också.
Ja. Bara draget.
Det är mest vad Ronny känner för.
Samma som ni spelade alldeles nyss.
Ja. 13-2 på den. Spelar du den sidan så gör vi det. Det får du välja igen.
Jag upplever att outhanden känns spontant lite lättare att komma på för att det är mindre skrot.
Ja men då
spelar den.
Jag gillar båda sidor.
Det finns ju en tage också för att komma upp.
Inte så sugen på den faktiskt.
Då drar vi.
I sådana fall draget eller komma ner emot.
Ja.
Så.
Ja.
Men vill du den sidan så.
Vill du ha outhanden så kör vi. Ja.
Well, I don't speak Swedish, but I'm getting the general gist of what they were saying. I think they're going to play a draw. I did think that Peter Nart was suggesting that they should throw the clockwise rotation, which would require them to come down the right-hand side of the sheet here and onto those 2 red stones. But looks from the position of Elio Pettersson Dahl that they're choosing to come around on the anti-clockwise rotation. Some of the Swedish team.
Ja, om den går över linan är det inget problem.
Support the players on the ice.
Ja.
Ja,
13.
Kom igen nu.
A little bit surprised to see them not just following that same sort of line played by China.
Bra.
This really is an important shot here. Sometimes it can be difficult to focus after timeouts called.
Bra.
So often we see shots missed after those timeouts.
Ja, sätter den bra.
Känns okej.
Ja då, sätter den fin.
Well, Ronnie Persson. Looks like he's got a good line here. How's the speed? How's the speed coming down nicely now?
Det är så jävla bra Ronny!
Oh, what a beauty here. He is just on fire today, Ronnie Persson. Can't put a foot wrong. Unbelievable stuff by the Swedish third.
10分，青哥要自己
Perhaps
甩过
not
点
out
也
of the
行。
woods yet, though.
青哥在外角
China
呢，对啊，
4 stones
青
still
哥
to
外角
come.，
青哥在里角过来也行。
来弹。
13秒5呗。
Well, with those two
13秒
stones side by side, it's quite a nice nest here for Chen Xianxin.
到点啊！
They have just played this draw twice, although it was a change of player, and that's one of the real keys in the game is understanding the difference between the players and the throws to be able to make the same shot, to make the right adjustments, and they've got a great line here, coming around nicely, and down onto the shot stone. That's a beauty. What a shot there by Chen Yanxin. Right down onto the button, and that really got the home crowd going.
Den sidan är ju inte... Frågan om vi gardar. Vad tycker du, Kiki? Jag menar, ska de ge sig på den här sidan är ju inte så farligt. Jag menar, vad kan de göra som max? De kan slå här och vicka, stöta undan lite. Gardar vi den här sidan?
Ja.
Jag tycker vi gardar den sidan då nu!
Jag tycker också
Okej.
det. Garda där. Ja.
Eller?
Ja.
Jag menar, släppa 1 eller 2 är ju helt okej.
Nej, detta är bra här.
Ja, och ha sista.
Interesting to see Kiki Ulander taking up residency
15.
at the other end of the ice instead of doing her usual role of timing down at the throwing end, some 45 meters away. Up there, supporting Petter Sundal with the tactical decision making. That experience really is invaluable to this Swedish team that Ulander brings. Still needs to be played from between those red 18-inch delivery lines.
Ja, jag tyckte den kändes
Clockwise rotation is going to start to bend back into the middle now.
14.
Bra!
39.
Bra,
Very
Ronny!
good line.
Bra Ronny!
Very
Fin
good line.
sten! Bra!
Nice shot here by Ronnie Persson, protecting that yellow stone at the back of the button. China still lying in shot position, but that really is a saver in there.
Okay.
That yellow stone at the back of the button, and China not with much room here to score more than one.
如果软这个打这儿，这个能找着那红的，那不行，就那么磕一下子，磕不动的。来，过来，磕一下，往这个往上。我这球就得得把这个给处理掉。对，先搁这，往这儿磕一下子，过来，往这儿去，磕它，这样旋，往这儿磕点，这个挤后边。 行，把这磕铲子一会儿这样来。对对对。不行，实在不行，你做这个。
先打。
我按啥力了？啥力了？上把力了。上把多少秒？上把抢多少秒了吗？
哪个呀？
上把力了。第一个。
谁的？他
那个13秒3。
行，上把力了。稍放一点吧，刚才过不去吧？
Both teams spending a lot of time here in the 7th end.
行。 不行，磕点外就红红
Has
外
been
角往
a
外甩一点
reasonably
也行
brisk
嘛，
game,
是不是？
so
不
they
行
do
就
have
做那
plenty
个
of
磕
time
那
left
黄
on
的
the，clock.
磕定它，一会儿好软它也。
对，磕。
行。
磕的劲儿。磕的劲儿，这把。
就上把力。
上把力量，小
One
不小
thing's for sure, if China want to score more than a couple, they need to try and find a way to get that Yellowstone off the back of the button. There really is not a lot of space to get many red stones in there, and they could do with a score of 3, maybe 4 here in the 7th end to have any chance of winning the game. Stopwatch is at the ready, timing the speed of the Chinese stones.
Whoa!
Whoa! 不掉线。
别着急，别着急，别着急。
Looking a little bit wider here, Chen Yanxin needs to curl out. Needs to come down, back down onto that red. That's great effort, but doesn't curl enough.
我觉得这样就好看。
Ja.
Du kan han ju på den våran kanske. Så det är ju bättre. Vi måste gå upp på den sidan.
It's been a terrific performance from Viljo Pettersson-Dahl.
这打他还有
77% all throughout the Swedish team, just incredible stats. And it's no wonder that we've seen Wang Haitao, even with all his class, struggle against the might of the Swedish team.
Räcker den isen eller ska vi ta mer?
Vill du ha mer?
Ja, jag vet inte fan om vi inte gör det.
Vill du ha 8?
Ja. Hellre
Again, using the full width of the sheet here, Sweden. So much curl on the ice here in the ice cube.
Kom igen, den har du.
Bra!
Quite a nice pocket here for Pettersson-Dahl to rest the yellow stone in, nullify a couple of these red shots. Looking a little bit shy of speed though. Maybe just a guard.
Snygg Sten.
Bra Viljo!
Bra att du tog upp isen där. Bra. Snyggt.
So again, Sweden just really guarding for their lives. Putting a wall of stones out front to protect the situation in the middle of the house. They're not lying in shot position at the moment. Just a reminder, despite all those stones being in the house, there being lots of reds and lots of yellows, only one team can score in the end. It's all about who is closest and who is closer, how many are closer than the opposition's nearest one. And at the moment, if we didn't throw any more stones, China would only score one. They've got that red stone in there on the button. But the second shot stone is Swedish, despite the third, fourth, maybe fifth red stone all being in the mix. There's a couple of yellow stones out counting them in there in that red 4-foot circle. Home crowd trying to raise the spirits of the hometown heroes. No, they've got a lot of work to do here, trailing by 5 and running out of time. Makes the take it on the wide one. And that Yellowstone looking extremely lonely in there at the moment. But just one stone still to come each.
One red. One red.
Well, Christina Olander trying to end the end now, but still a couple of stones to come.
Ja, vi guardar! Här!
So that was a good chuckle about it. Maybe just a little bit of lapse of concentration there from Olander. It's easy done.
Bra där.
So still a stone each to come here. Maybe a little bit of relief playing into Christina Olander's thinking there. Thankfully that ends over. That Yellowstone is starting to look a little bit lonely in here. The key here for Sweden not to make things any more straightforward for China to remove that yellow. Does look very precarious in there.
14-6.
14-5, 14-6. Är bra.
Bra.
That's a lovely shot. That stops any takeout down the anti-clockwise handle. But maybe China might be able to do something down the other side. Can they get round onto the two reds?
Norge spurtade där ordentligt till slut.
Then you're just looking at it. Oh, they're actually looking at some sort of a run back here. Just wondering if they could hit the red furthest right in the pack of stones around the T-line and hit the yellow stone out sideways, but trying a big weight takeout. We saw a great effort in the previous end, and this one possibly even more difficult here for Wang Haitao. Really gave that some welly. Rumbles down the ice, drives it in. It's only going to be a score of 1 here. Just a score of 1 for China here in the 7th end.
6-0.
So China, the hosts, get their first point on the board here, but just 1 end to come here. Sweden with the last stone coming down the last and leading by 4. This is the 8th and final end. Sweden with an almost unassailable lead here. 4 shots to the good for Sweden. And China with a huge amount of work to do here. We had a pretty good fist of it in the 7th end though. Quite a few red stones built up and it just didn't quite work out. The angles weren't quite right in the end for them to be able to bring them all into play. Sweden will be looking to play out clean final end here. Really has been a fabulous performance by the Swedes. Scintillating stuff throughout. And perhaps taking over China's tag as the favourites this week after this performance. There's definitely a quiet confidence in the Swedish camp.
Ute. Bra. Bra.
So just throwing both of Sweden's stones, they know that any stones in play are potential benefit to China. We saw that in the last end with Kiki Ulander's stones slipping to the back of the house, and it really got them in a little bit of trouble. Far more stones in play than they would have liked, so not taking any risk this time around. The clock's continuing to tick away in the background, but still plenty of time for both teams to complete the full complement. Well, that's 3 guards in play. Only 5 to come here for China. They need to get 4 of them to score. And Sweden are going to start to try and tidy this up.
Kom igen.
Jag får hoppa lite till.
Jajamän. Sträck ut. Riktning. Kom igen.
Bra.
So not necessarily trying to trade places with these red stones, given they're not in the house, but trying to pick them off.
Bra Moe!
Gets one, just chips it off and rolls the thrown stone away.
Bra Sten! 7-6!
Call that
Ja,
peel
sen
in curling.
Höj!
You hear them say, just peel it off.
Shut up.
Whoa!
Zhang Mingliang has had a good game. We saw a couple of terrific draws in the previous end, 68% overall. And looks like he's got another good one here. Right down onto the button. What a shot here, right onto the pin. That one was really needed for China.
Den sätter du. Du äger den, Moe. Kom igen.
Bra!
Noggrannhet.
So Langborg with the same again
Hennes
here.
bra! Ja. Bra Moe! Fint satt!
It's just been a tremendous display by this Swedish team of takeouts. That's another perfect one. Hits and rolls out. The end of this game is nearing. China running out of time, running out of stones. Trailing it by 4.
Kör!
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. 掉一点儿。 Go, go, go! 再走还能掉。
Maybe just grab something at the end there. The handle started spinning a bit more. So maybe a chance to pretty much end the game right now here. If Ronnie Persson can make a double takeout on those 2 red stones, which is quite possible, then this could be curtains. This could be handshakes here. And the way Ronnie Persson has played in this game, it almost seems likely. He's hardly made a single mistake.
Kändes perfekt.
Ja då.
Seems happy with it. Seems very happy with it. Running right up the center line. Makes contact with them both, but doesn't spill them all. So just 3 stones to come now for China, and they need to all score. Great throw there from Ronnie Persson. He knows that this one's done. Still some formalities to go through here, though. China will continue to play until they mathematically can't win anymore. Doesn't matter how many shots you win by in this Paralympic format. It's a round robin of 11 nations. Everybody plays everybody, and it just counts on wins and losses. Then the top 4 will qualify for the semi-finals and have a chance to go for the medals. That comes up short of the house. That could well be the end of the game. Doesn't seem possible that China are going to score 4. I think Wang Haitao offers a handshake there. That's the end of the game. China have conceded.
Vad sa du?
And the handshakes come in. Chen Yanxin on the scene as well. What a performance from Sweden. A much deserved victory here on day 2. And 2 of the main protagonists for the medals. A huge victory for Sweden over the hosts and defending Paralympic champions. It really was was quite one-sided, but that was just down to the sheer quality of the play by Sweden. Really didn't look like it was going to be any other way once they took that 5-0 lead. And in the end, they ran out winners by 5-1. Sweden over People's Republic of China. Lots of smiles and high fives for Sweden. They have every right to be delighted with that performance, exacting just a little bit of revenge for a few months ago at the World Championship when the final was played here in the Ice Cube. It's China who won in the next round on that occasion, but just didn't give them a chance. Some formalities required. Sign the scorecard, always sign the scorecard. Kiki Yolanda really enjoying herself out there. Ronnie Persson continuing to find out that curling is actually all right, and he is a curling guy, and what a performance from Ronnie, 83%, unbelievable stuff. So confirmation of that final result here in the mixed wheelchair curling round robin. Sweden 5, People's Republic of China 1. This is how they stack up here on day 2. Canada, Norway and Sweden all on 2-0. Latvia, the only other undefeated team. And People's Republic of China, the favourites coming in to the event, losing their first 2 games. It's those stolen ends that really hurt them. 4 points across 3 ends, but it's all down to the unbelievable precision of the play by Sweden. Difficult to see how anybody could have hung with them today on this kind of form. Still lots of action to come here at Beijing 2022 Paralympic Games. 11-team round robin, everybody playing everybody for a spot in the semi-finals. Still a long way to go here, but Sweden off to a great start. Well, maybe we've got some new sheriffs in town. China coming into the event as overwhelming favourites. Reigning Paralympic champions, won 2 world champions since. And looks like Sweden may well be the ones to watch this week. Just a super performance from the get-go and really just didn't give the hosts a chance. Getting off to a 5-0 lead and seeing the game out to secure their second win of the round robin. Terrific play by Sweden. China still looking for their first victory.